Ladies, let me tell you something. Men notice everything, and I'm not talking about the obvious. I mean the subtle little things you don't even realize you're doing. The way you speak, how you carry yourself, the small habits, the micro expressions, the energy you put out into the world. You think you're just walking into a room. He's already clocked 10 details about you before you even said hello. And here's the thing, these details can either work for you or against you. So today, we're breaking down the 10 things women have no idea men are paying attention to and why they matter more than you think. Confidence is one of those traits that speaks before you even open your mouth. It's in the way you walk into a room, the way you hold yourself, the way you meet someone's eyes. People often think confidence is just about feeling good about yourself on the inside, but it's also something others can pick up on instantly, and men are no exception. The truth is, men notice confidence without you having to announce it. It's in subtle signals. Your posture, your facial expressions, your willingness to take up space without apologizing for it. When you stand tall, shoulders back, head high, you send a silent but powerful message that says you know who you are and you're comfortable in your own skin. This is magnetic, and it draws people in without you having to say a word. On the flip side, a lack of confidence is just as noticeable. Slouched shoulders, avoiding eye contact, fidgeting with your hair or clothing. These behaviors can make you seem unsure of yourself, even if you're not. Men often pick up on this subconsciously, and it can influence how they perceive you. Confidence, or the lack of it, shapes first impressions dramatically. In fact, in many cases, men are less concerned about how perfect you look and more attuned to how comfortable you seem in your own presence. You could be wearing a simple outfit, no makeup, and still command attention because your self-assurance radiates. Confidence isn't about arrogance or trying to dominate the room. It's about owning your space in a way that feels natural. This means speaking with clarity and conviction, not shrinking your voice or apologizing unnecessarily. It's making eye contact when you talk to someone, not glancing away or looking down mid-conversation. It's not rushing your words as if you don't deserve someone's time, but allowing pauses and holding the floor. These small actions communicate to men that you value yourself, and if you value yourself, others will too. One thing many people overlook is that confidence is also about energy. You can be quiet and still exude a strong presence if your energy communicates certainty. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be noticed. Sometimes it's the calm, grounded individual who captures attention. Men notice when a woman doesn't feel the need to overcompensate to prove her worth. They notice when you're comfortable in silence, when you're not desperate to fill every moment with chatter, when you can hold yourself without seeking constant validation. And here's the other side of it: confidence is not about being perfect or flawless. In fact, vulnerability can coexist with confidence. A woman who can admit she doesn't know something, or who laughs at her own mistakes, shows a deeper kind of strength. Men pay attention to that. They can tell when you're at ease with your imperfections, when you don't let small mishaps shake your sense of self. It makes you more relatable, more human, and paradoxically, more attractive. Men also notice how your confidence holds up in challenging situations. When you're confronted with criticism, do you crumble or do you respond calmly? When plans change unexpectedly, do you panic or adapt? These moments reveal more about your character than any scripted conversation ever could. A woman who keeps her composure, even when things don't go her way, sends a powerful message about her inner stability. This doesn't go unnoticed. The most fascinating part is that confidence isn't just a quality men admire. It's one they instinctively respond to. It shifts the dynamic in subtle but important ways. A confident woman sets the tone for how she is treated. She's less likely to tolerate disrespect, less likely to accept poor behavior, and more likely to command the respect she deserves. Men notice that too. They notice that they can't just get away with anything because you carry yourself like someone who knows her worth and won't compromise it. Body language is one of the most powerful, unspoken forms of communication you have, and men pick up on it far more than you might think. From the moment you enter a space, your posture, gestures, and expressions start telling a story about you, whether you intend them to or not. A confident stride, an open stance, and relaxed shoulders can instantly project self-assuredness. On the other hand, crossed arms, hunched posture, or avoiding eye contact can communicate defensiveness, insecurity, or discomfort. Even if you never say a word, your body language can completely influence the way someone perceives you. Men are often especially observant of these cues because they reveal your mindset, your emotional state, and even how you might respond in certain situations. The small details matter. The way you sit, whether you lean in when someone is speaking to you, or if you turn your body away slightly, sends subtle but impactful messages. For example, leaning in and maintaining eye contact while someone talks signals genuine interest and engagement, while constantly glancing at your phone or fidgeting can suggest boredom or distraction. Men notice when you're present in a conversation versus when your mind is somewhere else. Your facial expressions are another key piece of body language. They often betray your true feelings before your words do. A genuine smile, relaxed jaw, and soft eyes can communicate warmth and openness, while a forced smile or tight facial muscles might indicate discomfort or irritation. Your gestures can also enhance or diminish your presence. Smooth, deliberate movements tend to signal confidence, while frantic, nervous motions can suggest insecurity. Men often pick up on whether your gestures match your words. If you're talking about something exciting but your body remains rigid, it can create a disconnect. Conversely, if your movements flow naturally with your conversation, it creates harmony between what you're saying and how you're saying it. Men notice these alignments or misalignments because they reveal authenticity. Touch is another aspect of body language that can speak volumes. A light touch on the arm while making a point can convey warmth and connection, but overuse can feel forced. Men notice whether physical contact feels natural or overly intentional. Likewise, respecting personal space sends signals about boundaries and comfort levels. Standing too close might seem invasive, while staying too far might signal disinterest. Striking the right balance shows self-awareness and emotional intelligence, which doesn't go unnoticed. Even your breathing patterns can influence perception. Slow, steady breaths tend to indicate calmness and control, whereas rapid or shallow breathing can reveal nervousness or anxiety. Men might not consciously analyze your breathing, but they'll often register the overall impression it gives. The same goes for pacing. How you move through a room can be as telling as what you wear. Moving with intention instead of rushing or shuffling communicates composure and purpose. Another thing men pay attention to is how you react to your environment through body language. Do you open up when entering a room, making eye contact and smiling at people, or do you fold into yourself and avoid interaction? Do you physically turn towards someone when they speak to you, showing full engagement, or do you only partially face them while your body is angled toward the exit? These choices, whether conscious or unconscious, are signals that men pick up on and use to interpret your interest, confidence, and mood. The fascinating part is that body language often communicates the truth more clearly than words. You can say you're fine, but if your arms are crossed, your shoulders are tight, and your face is tense, men will sense something is off. In fact, it's often the contradictions between what you say and what your body shows that catch their attention the most. When your body language is aligned with your words and energy, it sends a powerful, cohesive message that men find not only noticeable, but memorable. The way you speak is one of the most telling and memorable things about you, and men notice it far more than most women realize. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. The tone, rhythm, pace, and delivery of your words can leave a lasting impression. Your tone can communicate confidence, warmth, authority, or uncertainty without you even trying. A steady, clear voice draws people in, while a hesitant, rushed, or monotone delivery can make your message fade into the background. Men often associate a certain tone of voice with personality traits. For example, a calm, measured tone suggests self-control and maturity, while a high-pitched, nervous tone might come across as anxious or unsure. Even if they aren't consciously analyzing it, men are responding to the emotional cues in your voice. Volume plays a role too. Speaking too softly can make you seem timid or unsure, even if your words are strong. Speaking too loudly can unintentionally come across as aggressive or overbearing. Striking the right balance communicates that you're comfortable and in control of the conversation. Men notice when you project your voice in a way that matches your presence without overpowering the space. It shows that you're confident enough to be heard, but aware enough to maintain harmony in the interaction. The pace of your speech sends another powerful message. Speaking too quickly can signal nervousness or a lack of thoughtfulness, while speaking too slowly can make you seem uncertain or disengaged. A natural, conversational pace conveys that you're both present and deliberate with your words. Men often pick up on these pacing cues because they suggest how confident you feel in the moment and how much control you have over the flow of the conversation. Word choice matters just as much as delivery. Using precise, thoughtful language makes you sound intelligent and intentional, while excessive filler words like like, or you know, can dilute your message. Men notice when you express yourself with clarity because it reflects mental sharpness and self-awareness. On the other hand, vague or overly self-deprecating language can make you seem uncertain or overly concerned with how you're being perceived. Even subtle linguistic habits, like starting every statement with "I might be wrong, but," can send signals about your confidence level. Men also pay attention to how your speaking style shifts depending on the context or the person you're engaging with. If you're polite and articulate with some people but dismissive or curt with others, it reveals more than you think. Your tone in different situations communicates not only your adaptability but also your respect, or lack thereof, for the person you're speaking to. This is why consistency in how you address people can be such a powerful indicator of character. Another layer men notice is the emotional weight behind your words. Even in casual conversation, the enthusiasm or passion in your voice can be contagious. If you speak about something you care about with energy and conviction, it draws attention and creates connection. Conversely, a flat or disinterested delivery can shut down curiosity, no matter how interesting the topic is. Men are especially attuned to authenticity. They can sense when your tone is genuine versus when it feels forced. Pauses are another underrated aspect of speaking that men pick up on. Strategic pauses show thoughtfulness, composure, and the ability to command attention without rushing. They give your words space to land and allow the listener to fully absorb what you're saying. Men notice when someone speaks with that kind of control because it suggests confidence and emotional stability. Ultimately, how you speak shapes the way your presence is remembered. Even if you only exchange a few sentences with someone, your tone, pace, and choice of words can influence whether that interaction is seen as powerful, engaging, or forgettable. Men may not always articulate exactly why they remember a conversation with you, but it's often the subtle details of your voice and delivery that linger the longest. How you treat others is one of the most revealing things about your character, and men take notice of it immediately, often more than they notice your appearance or style. The way you speak to people who can't offer you anything in return, waiters, store clerks, janitors, says more about you than how you interact with someone you're trying to impress. Men often observe these small moments to get a sense of who you really are. Being polite and respectful to everyone, regardless of their status or role, communicates integrity and empathy. On the other hand, being dismissive, rude, or impatient with people you think don't matter sends a loud signal about your values, even if you don't realize it. Your attitude toward others extends beyond simple manners. It's about the energy and attention you give in interactions. Men notice whether you truly listen when someone speaks, whether you show interest in their perspective, or whether you only wait for your turn to talk. Listening without interrupting or constantly glancing at your phone shows that you value the person in front of you. This kind of attentiveness doesn't just make a positive impression on the person you're talking to. It also makes an impression on anyone watching because it reflects thoughtfulness and respect. Small acts of kindness are another thing men pick up on. Holding the door open for someone, thanking the barista by name, offering help without being asked. These gestures might seem insignificant, but they add up to a powerful picture of your personality. Men often notice when these actions are genuine and when they're done purely for show. Authentic kindness has a different energy. It's consistent, not dependent on who's watching or whether you'll get something in return. How you treat people during stressful situations is especially telling. It's easy to be polite when things are going smoothly, but your behavior when you're frustrated, tired, or under pressure shows your true nature. Men notice whether you maintain composure or lash out, whether you stay solution-focused or start blaming others. These moments can be defining because they reveal emotional control, resilience, and maturity, traits that leave a strong impression. Another layer is how you treat people in your inner circle. Men notice how you talk about your friends, family, or coworkers when they're not around. If you speak with respect and loyalty, it signals trustworthiness and stability. But if you constantly gossip, criticize, or belittle people behind their backs, it can create doubt about how you might speak about them in the future. Your consistency in showing respect, both in public and private matters, just as much as your behavior in face-to-face interactions. Men also pay attention to your generosity, not just with money or material things, but with your time, attention, and patience. Offering help, giving encouragement, or simply making space for someone else to share their thoughts demonstrates emotional intelligence and empathy. These qualities make people feel valued, and men notice when someone has that effect on others. How you handle conflict with others is another factor. Men observe whether you approach disagreements with calm and open communication, or whether you escalate tension and turn it into a battle. Being able to express your point without disrespecting the other person shows self-control and respect for boundaries. This not only leaves a positive impression, but also signals that you can handle differences in a constructive way. In the end, the way you treat others reflects the standards you set for yourself and the kind of environment you create around you. Even in brief encounters, men can pick up on patterns of respect, kindness, and fairness, or the lack of them. These observations often carry more weight than you realize because they speak to your core values, the kind that shape every relationship you have. Your energy and presence are like an invisible introduction that people feel before you even say a word, and men are highly attuned to it. This is the vibe you carry into a room, the combination of your body language, tone, and emotional state that creates an overall impression. Some people have a presence that immediately draws others in, while others unintentionally fade into the background. Men often notice this right away because energy is contagious. It can either uplift a space or weigh it down. When you carry yourself with grounded confidence, warmth, and openness, it naturally makes people want to engage with you. This doesn't mean being loud or the center of attention. It's about the kind of aura you project through your posture, eye contact, facial expressions, and even how you listen. Energy isn't just about being upbeat, it's about being intentional. You can have a calm, serene presence that still commands attention because it feels composed and self-assured. Men notice when you seem comfortable in your own skin versus when your energy feels scattered or insecure. If your presence communicates stability and self-awareness, it's often more magnetic than any physical feature. Conversely, if your energy signals anxiety, defensiveness, or negativity, it tends to push people away without you having to say a thing. Part of what men notice is how your energy changes in different environments. Do you walk into a social setting with openness, making genuine connections, or do you close yourself off, avoiding eye contact and keeping to the edges of the room? They also notice how your energy shifts depending on who you're talking to. If your demeanor changes drastically between conversations, warm with one person but dismissive with another, it can signal inauthenticity. Consistency in presence builds trust, while inconsistency raises questions. Men also pick up on whether your energy is self-generated or reactive. Someone with self-generated energy maintains their composure and mood regardless of minor setbacks or external negativity, while someone reactive allows their presence to be dictated by the environment. For example, if a conversation takes an awkward turn, do you laugh it off and steer it in a better direction, or does your discomfort fill the air and drag down the moment? The ability to hold your energy steady makes you more resilient and appealing, and men notice that. Your presence is also reflected in how much space you allow yourself to take up. People with strong, positive energy don't shrink themselves to avoid being seen, nor do they dominate the space in an aggressive way. Men notice when you stand comfortably, move with intention, and engage in a way that shows you believe you belong where you are. That quiet assurance is far more compelling than overcompensation or forced charm. Eye contact plays a huge role in this. Holding someone's gaze without staring aggressively communicates attentiveness, interest, and self-assurance. Men often remember people who look them in the eye when speaking because it creates a sense of connection and sincerity. Paired with an open facial expression, it can make even brief interactions feel meaningful. The emotional tone of your presence is another thing men notice quickly. Do you radiate optimism and curiosity, or do you carry tension and cynicism? While everyone has bad days, the general pattern of your energy becomes part of your identity in people's minds. Men are especially aware of how they feel in your presence, whether they leave interactions feeling lighter and more engaged or drained and uneasy. In many ways, your energy is a silent communicator of your self-worth and boundaries. When you carry yourself with an inner steadiness, it tells people they can't easily rattle you. When you exude genuine interest in the people around you, it tells them you value connection. Men notice all of this, often within seconds, and it shapes how they experience you long before words are exchanged.